Welcome everyone, welcome to another preview. This is MetalCanyon and we'll be checking out a game by White Rabbit Games called Desert Skies. Now the game is in early access, it's just come to early access like about a week ago or so. And the reason I waited so long, well, sometimes I just don't have the time to do a proper preview, but let's start a new game in the meantime. But the reason I waited so long is that, and this is a good thing, the developer is on point. They are updating the game quite a bit, listening to player feedback, and changing a lot of stuff. So when I started playing this, you'll see, I had a little bit of a maybe negative feeling about it, but it's now changed over time. So anyway, here's the game. The first thing you'll notice is the graphics, obviously. I love the style. It's sort of stylish, almost garage shading, I suppose. It basically means there's no textures. It's an old style of shading that was prevalent before in ye olde times. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The whole premise of the game is it's sort of an RPG slash survival. Torn in half, what a way to go. It's Tremors. If you've ever seen the movie Tremors, it's sort of it, but in Wild West with, you know, some liberties taken as far as tech and so on. And I love that movie. Let's open this. Let's take all of it. There's also some wood here and some nails over here. The cool thing, I feel, is that the game doesn't really show you what items can be interacted with. So you really have to look. And the cool thing is you might miss some of the stuff, but that's fine. But most of the time, you will learn what you can pick up and what you can't. So, for example, you know, all these trunks, the nails, the bandages, and so on and so forth, you can. While some of this stuff you cannot. It might look annoying, but I like the fact that it's not overly hand-holding. Alright, there's a hammer. We don't have an axe yet. So you might wonder, what the heck is this all about? Well, the game takes a very interesting twist on the whole Tremors thing, and I suppose Wild West as well. This is your airship. Right now it's basically nothing, so I'm going to put one platform here. There. And now I don't have enough wood or anything else, so now we have to... Oh yeah, maybe... There we go. We've got enough wood. So this is the tutorial section where it basically tells you, you know, pick all that stuff up. Actually, I'm parched, I'll die without a drink. Let's drink. And let's also eat the food from the food tin. So this is your airship, which allows you to travel around. Apparently, the developers are thinking about adding an engine as well, which will allow you to steer the ship. I'm not exactly sure how that will work, because right now, the way the game works, you can see there's something over there, like a town. The way the game works is that you arrive at, well, various places. I think it's slightly randomized at which places you arrive to, but a lot of the stuff is scripted, so not really sure how using an engine to steer the ship will help. But anyway, here we're coming to the first town where we will actually find some resistance. And I was talking about how the game doesn't show you the items. It does when you first arrive for some reason. Oh, let's see. Okay, this is not... Okay, let's pick up the stones. So, the way the game worked before is... Well, if you've seen Tremors, if you haven't seen Tremors, go and watch them, because it's a bloody brilliant movie. Oh, that's a bit of a mistake. It's a bloody brilliant movie. I love it. The first one, anyway. I didn't watch the rest of them. But... without spoiling too much, it is basically about some, I suppose, redneck people trying to survive in a very remote town in the US when there are these giant, weird worms killing them all that are underground. I know it sounds ridiculous, but please do go and watch it because it's an awesome movie. Anyway, this is what this game is about, like I said. So we're waiting for a giant worm of some sort, and we'll find it. Let's just move around and look for things. Now, when I first received this game, the way it worked, this very first part is scripted. So we will see no enemies. Right now, there's only one enemy anyway. We won't see the Seeker, as it's called, until I actually pick up the coal, or one piece of coal that I'm looking for. So we're free to do as we please. Of course, the first time I didn't know that, which meant that I immediately went there to the train station, and I went, oh, look, coal, let's pick it up. And of course, that spawned the Seeker, which, well, it complicates matters a little bit. But knowing that is part of the battle. So now I can loot things with impunity. I don't think there's anything in here, or, I mean, outside. Oh yeah, there is. There's a bit of food. So yeah, now we can loot with impunity until we actually pick up that coal, which is kind of cool at the same time, but also not, because I do like being surprised in games. And that's one of the issues we're going to talk about in the game. Oops. I think there is fall damage, but fortunately we didn't take any here. But you can see that the maps are pretty nicely detailed. They are handcrafted. I don't think there's any... I believe they actually added a bit of randomization to the items that appear, but the actual maps, they stay the same. So when you travel around, the desert is randomly generated, I believe, but the maps that are dotted around that you arrive to and explore are all handcrafted. So that's the bad side about it. You will definitely... Oh, nice. Those cactus fruits are actually really good. Look at that. Hunger and thirst go up by a lot as you eat those. So, you know, when you do finish the game, or you die and you start the game again, you will pretty much know what a certain map will look like and what you can expect. Now, we can build a stone axe here. I'll just have that made. There's a bandage here, some rope, some more nails and rope. Nails are pretty important because, well, at least at the beginning of the game, you will want quite a few of them to build up your airship. Let's put that here. Actually, we can put these stones here as well. The stones will allow us to try and get the Seeker's attention in a different direction. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work as well, as you will soon see. Oh yeah, let's also use a bandage because our health was pretty low. Anything here in the John? Nope. And there's some wood here. Nothing here. You can also sprint, of course, with shift. That doesn't appear to really increase the Seeker's attention, per se. At least not when I played it. It might now, but I don't know. We'll see. We're almost done with looting here. Most of the maps are much smaller than this one, which is a bit of a shame in a way. Oh, there's a water skin. I do like lots of exploration. But the way the game worked before is, like I said, if on this map, the Seeker's appearance is scripted. So when we pick up the coal, it will appear. But on the other maps, the case was simply that when you landed and started doing things, there was a secret timer started. And when the time was up, the Seeker arrived, and that was it. So there was really no surprise in when or if the Seeker would arrive. And that was a bit disappointing. However, I believe they've changed that. So now there's a sort of a sound meter, which we will see on the next map that we arrive to. So let's go and say hello to the Seeker. We can also drink from the well here. There we go. We don't have a canteen, so we cannot really fill up our canteen with water. Well, let's go pick up the coal. There's also a bell here. And a destroyed train. I really do like how the game looks. I do enjoy that a lot. Is there anything else here to pick up? I don't think so, right? Now, the movement can be a bit clunky. It's okay for the most part, but it can be a bit clunky. Also, if you do metagame, you know that this is a very, very good time to get lots of wood for your building material, for firewood, and so on and so forth. Because when we pick up that coal, you know, the game's on. The Seeker will always arrive pretty much, and we won't have a lot of time to get wood like this at all. So it's probably a good idea to get some to start with. Anyway, let's pick up the coal. Oh, there's more cactus fruit here. That's nice. I don't remember that being the case before. You can also cut down cacti, or cactuses if you wish, which is a, you know, you need the fiber for creating bandages and ropes and so on and so forth. So that's pretty good. Oh, I cannot really get that one. All right, let's get the coal. Here comes the Seeker. Is that an earthquake? There it is. The Seeker heard that. So just like in Tremors, there it is, and it saw us. So now it's gonna try to get to us. We can keep sprinting, which means that it won't be able to follow us. The interesting thing is it cannot really enter buildings right now. I do like how its eyes glow, though. And if we get near, of course, it's going to try and attack us. Now, when it doesn't have sight of us, it'll patrol around a little bit, and we can use one of these stones to try and get its attention. Or, well, let's say, I don't know, I'll throw it there somewhere. So there we go. It heard that, and now we can go down and sneak away. In a way. We're not really sneaking. I think it spotted us. No, it didn't. Okay. So we're done now, pretty much. And because, of course, we knew that we had to get our stuff done before picking up the coal, we have nothing else to do. But you can imagine that it would be a little bit tricky trying to loot this town while the Seeker is out there. It also cannot get on your airship. So you're fairly safe over there. Of course, over here, we don't have much of an airship to begin with, so... Let's build a workbench. It's a little larger than what our airship currently can hold, but that's okay. Let's build some more platforms there. There we go. But yeah, that's the survival aspect. I can't rely on only scavenging if I want to thrive. If I make some tools, I can harvest resources from the desert. So what it wants us to do is make a stone pickaxe. There we go. So we already have an axe for cutting down trees and cactuses, but we can also make a pickaxe for getting iron and gold, and also stones. And of course, iron and gold is very important. We can make a revolver, ropes, bandages, noisemakers, for example, with a bell. And like I said, there's more building stuff. There's a smelter, a blacksmith, a grill, a lab, small storage, medium storage, sleeping bag, and you can build various things for your ship. Most of the stuff is really just up to your preference, and unfortunately a lot of stuff does cost a lot of nails, which are very hard to come by at the beginning of the game. Let's add more fuel here. We can also add the coal. I forgot to do that, which will increase our fuel in the top left by quite a bit. You can also descend at any time to harvest some of the fruits from the cactuses maybe, or the, or cut trees down. And that's also my main way of getting iron and gold. But anyway, now we'll arrive to the next town, and I'm actually not sure how the new mechanics will work. Because like I said, the good thing is that the developer is doing a pretty good job of updating the game almost, I don't know, it felt like almost daily. They were doing hot fixes and listening to feedback and so on and so forth. And remember, if we don't want to land over here, we don't have to, but the way the game works, we almost do have to land at every opportunity. So let's we'll land here. Oh, there it is now. There's that that meter now, which will go up. Let's see. Oh, there it is. So now it's building up because we're walking over sand, and it can hear that, I suppose. If we start cutting things down, let's see if it's going to go up. No. Okay, so they've completely changed how this works. And if we walk over stones, you can see that the meter goes up very quickly. There's another bell here. Now, that's kind of cool at the same time. I mean, that's kind of cool that they did that, because before you knew that you had to run as fast as possible and get as many things as possible, not really enjoying the exploration so much. But now you know that you have a little bit of time to explore and pick up things in peace before you actually see the Seeker. And yeah, that is going up fairly quickly, I believe. Then even if we're not moving... No, it doesn't seem to go up. Okay, that's fine. Now, if I do go and start cutting trees down, you will see that that will increase rather alarmingly. Let's start cutting some of them down. There you go. The Seeker really doesn't like that. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it. I like the mechanics, but I'm not sure I like the fact that the game shows you how far the meter has come along, because it sort of takes away from the surprise. And the developer themselves have said that they don't want to take away the surprise of when the Seeker will arrive. Let's build a smelter, which will be quite important for what we do. Of course, we don't have any stuff right now. Let's add all the fuel. And let's add the coal here. There we go. And we can leave. I think I got most of the stuff anyway. Stone pickaxe, revolver, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so this is what you do in the game. You fly around, you try to avoid the Seeker, you pick up things, and you try to survive until you... There we go, we can actually land here. Am I going to land right on top of it and destroy it? No. Okay, so these larger rocks usually have some iron in this case, or also gold later in the game. But this is quite important because it will allow us to smelt ingots. Let's keep going. So there we go. We can now smelt an iron ingot, which is going to be super useful. I also like that everything is sort of animated. You know, smelting and building stuff. It's quite nice. I also like the sound effects. There's not a lot of them, but the ones that are there are fairly enjoyable and high quality. I do enjoy that. I would really like maybe some Wild West music playing. Possibly some, you know, dynamic ones. So when the Seeker actually arrives and is looking for you, some creepy Wild West music plays. That would be cool. But overall... It is quite an enjoyable game. I don't think I would really recommend getting it just yet, because it is quite short. There's not a ton of content yet. But like I said, the developer is actively adding stuff, balancing things, and so on and so forth. That might have coal there. And I do like that. They're making sure the game is going in the right direction, I think. They've also added the ability to deconstruct pieces of your ship or airship or whatchamacallit. Yeah, there we go. That's quite good. So yeah, the developer is definitely on point. But like I said, I cannot quite recommend the game just yet, unless you're very interested in it. In which case, you know, go crazy. You're still gonna have a bit of fun with it. Definitely. Oh. Well, gotta get down here already. So, yeah, I like the graphics. I like lots of stuff. The Seeker, I feel, is a little bit clunky at the moment. They seem to think about adding new enemies into the game as well. So, you know, you might see, I don't know, like smaller worms or something. The Seeker will come over here as well, by the way. Into the middle of nowhere all of a sudden. We just don't have a meter. So this is like playing the game before the update in a regular map. You didn't know exactly when the Seeker would arrive, but you knew that. There we go. The Seeker would arrive very quickly. There it is. So it's gonna get over there. It already sees us. Yeah, that's one of my major complaints right now. There's barely any stealth aspect to the game. So, for example, you're in a town and you're trying to get things. and the Seeker is out there. There's barely any stealthing possible, because the Seeker, first of all, hears pretty much everything. Not your footsteps, interestingly enough, even if you sprint. But it does hear... Actually, no. Does it hear sprinting? I cannot quite remember. Yes, it does. It hears sprinting. Never mind. But it hears opening doors. It hears... I don't know. Well, that's pretty much the main thing. Opening doors. And, of course, you sprinting. And the other thing is, it can really see well. So... it doesn't matter if you're really trying to be stealthy, it will always hover around somewhere where you are and almost immediately spot you. It's also, like I said, impossible to cut trees down. I would like a bit more of a stealth aspect, maybe a bit more, you know, of an anxious feeling, because as soon as you learn how the Seeker works, it really becomes more of a nuisance than a threat, to be completely honest, because you know it cannot get onto your airship, it cannot get into any of the buildings that have wood in them. Oh yeah, I should not sprint because that increases the meter quite quickly. In one of the updates where they added the meter, the noise meter, they also added these patches of stone and other things, which of course increase your sound generation. And obviously the Seeker does not like that. Oh, my inventory is full already. That's not very good. Okay, let's... yeah, that's not very good at all. I should probably get rid of some of the stuff. Or build some stuff at the ship. But anyway, it doesn't matter. There's just a preview. But like I said, the game is fairly enjoyable in a short run. And it's also got a lot of potential. If they add more maps, if they add randomization, if they add more enemies, and perhaps more of a interesting stealth aspect to the entire thing, this is going to become very, very enjoyable, I feel. And also add some music. So, that's quite interesting. I never looked up that up close, because, well, I was always running around like a madman, trying not to get the Seeker. Also, an interesting thing is they made you not increase the sound timer, or the sound bar, if you step over rocks. It also increases if you step over the ground, which might sort of indicate that the Seeker works a bit like those things in Tremors, where they could feel vibrations. They couldn't actually see or hear, I believe. It was just vibrations. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. This was a very short preview, very sort of messy preview of Desert Skies. A game I think has quite the potential to be a lot of fun. And I'll probably revisit it sometime later on when it's more developed. And until then, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.